So recently I was tagged by Raphael of Kaijuzilla 621 to do the Monstrosities Tag Your It 5 more questions for kaiju YouTubers. Now this is, as the name implies, you answer 5 questions and then you tag other people to answer the same questions. So yeah, let's get into it. Number 1. What kaiju film have you revisited and learned to love? This may shock some of you, but my answer for this is Godzilla Raids Again. I know, Raids Again, it's one of the most... I think it's one of the most underrated. It's definitely one of the most hated, I think, films in the series, just because it's so different. The editing is odd, the suit is not the greatest, the music isn't Ifukube, and a couple other reasons. But this is always one of those movies that I liked as a kid, surprisingly. You know, you'd think as a kid I'd like Gigan or Megalon, or, I don't know, the Heisei movies, which I like a lot, except for Gigan and Megalon, those are awful. But Rage Again was always one of the ones that I liked a lot. And part of the reason why I like it is because it is so different. The music, I think, is one of my favorite parts. It's because it's not Ifukube, it's a very unique sound for Godzilla as well. But the music is just very eerie. It doesn't, there's a lot of high strings in it to make it almost psycho-ish, you know, with the shower scene where it's very high on the violins. It's a very similar sound, very eerie, offsetting sound that kind of makes your stomach turn a little bit. And I like that. I like that music a lot. I also think the fight is one of the most brutal in the series. I think the fight between Godzilla and Baragon and GMK is the most brutal, just because Godzilla knows he's the most powerful, or the more powerful kaiju, and starts toying with Baragon. But this one, I think because of the editing, you know, I think this is one of the most brutal fights as well. Admittedly, some of the effects, like when they just use the little hand puppets, obviously that doesn't look as good as the actual suits. But overall, I really like this. I really like this movie, and it's definitely one that it's higher on my rewatch list than, say, I don't know what's a good than Megaguirus or even GMK. I prefer this over GMK, which that might cause a mutiny, but whatever. Raids Again is my choice for revisited kaiju movie. Best Toho Tokusatsu film that isn't a kaiju film. Now, I am going to be completely honest. I am not very familiar with Toho's filmography outside of their Godzilla movies. You know, obviously I know there's like Matango, Rodan, Varan, Mothra, and the Gargantua movies, but I kind of clump those, at least, you know, maybe not Matango, but I clump all those in their monster movie portfolio. My computer's going crazy right now. I kind of group those in one category, even if they're not Godzilla, you know, specifically Godzilla. But, so I'm gonna have to twist the question a little bit, and I'm gonna have to go with one of the Kurosawa movies, and that is Throne of Blood. This isn't Throne of Blood, it's a box set. But Throne of Blood, out of this specific box set, which has Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro, Throne of Blood is definitely my favorite out of this bunch, at least. Seven Samurai, I think, is objectively the best movie. I mean, it's one of the highest, like, most universally praised movies of all time. It is a long movie, so you kind of have to commit an afternoon to it. But that's an amazing movie. But my favorite is definitely Throne of Blood. The sets, the costumes are very minimalistic, very simple. There is a bit of, you know, a lot of the sets are open fields or just rooms, or even like a little a fortress. The ending is also very, very ingenious, I think, and I really, really like this movie a lot. Toshiro Mifune, the main actor in all these movies, is really amazing. He, I have to say, is one of my favorite actors of all time, just from these 5 movies. He has a lot of charisma, especially in the more comedic ones, like Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjiro. But the more serious movies, like Seven Samurai and Throne of Blood, I definitely like those roles more. So Throne of Blood is my pick for best non-tokusatsu Toho movie. So, like I said, I had to twist the question a little bit, but yeah. On to number 3. Number 3, favorite non-Japanese giant monster. The easy answer is King Kong. The original King Kong movie is one of my favorites of all time. I watch it every year on Thanksgiving. That's just kind of a thing my dad did when he was growing up, and it's just something that he passed on to me. So I watch that every year at Thanksgiving, and I love that movie. The animation, the technical achievements of that movie, both in terms of special effects, in terms of the size and like scope of the movie, the music, and just the massive success it was during the worst year of the Great Depression in 1933. I really, really love that movie, and I really like Kong. But if I had to go with a more obscure answer, I don't know if it's kaiju specifically, but those like alien soldiers from Starship Troopers, I really like the way those look, and I really like the way they move in that movie. You know, they have like the 4 legs, and then they just have like this giant mandible. I really like the way they look. Starship Troopers is kind of one of those movies that I just, even though it's really not all that great, I just love watching it. And so, yeah, I guess that's kind of it. King Kong is the easy answer, but then those alien warriors, I think those are that's my obscure answer, if they count as a kaiju. Number 4, Godzilla Singular Point. Are you of the Excite? I definitely am of the Excite. I really am not the biggest anime watcher. I have a select few that I've seen. I've seen One Punch Man. I've seen half of Iron Blooded Orphans, Gundam Unicorn. I want to see Attack on Titan. I've also seen most of Dragon Ball. Actually, I've only seen the first 3 seasons of Dragon Ball Z. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you want to count that as an anime. But I did like the anime trilogy that came out a few years ago, warts and all. But this is definitely, I think, going to be better, at least from what we've seen with the trailer. It was only a 3-second trailer, and the fact that it's gotten this much discussion and intrigue in the community, I think, is really kind of funny. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I think the designs for the kaiju are pretty amazing. I really like the Titanosaurus redesign. I also think the Gabra looking creature looks like the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. I do not like Jet Jaguar's redesign. He looks like a mix of Mazinger Z and IG-11 from Star Wars. So he really isn't all that great looking to me. I know a lot of people are making the comparison to Tetsujin or Gigantor. I don't see that at all. I definitely see the Mazinger Z comparison. But Godzilla's design, from what we've seen, looks great. I love the way he looks. I like the teeth. I like how they're more exposed. At least the fangs are. So in terms of the monsters, I think they look really great. But in terms of the humans, I have to say I hate the human designs. There's just something about them I just do. Oh, there goes my phone. There's just something about them that I just don't like all that much. I don't know what it is. Prost. Excuse me. I don't know what it is about the human designs that I don't like. There's something about them I can't put my finger on it. I think it's just that they're so like the style of each character is so drastically different from each other that it doesn't create a sense of cohesion, I guess. You know, most anime, like One Punch Man, has a very, you know, set look for the characters. Dragon Ball Z has a very set look for the characters. They have a very uniform look, I should say. Iron-Blooded Orphans is definitely in a similar category in terms of character designs as Singular Point. You know, Orga has that weird like thing. I forgot. Mikazuki, he looks weird. Miss Cudelia, she looks weird. A lot of the character designs are so different from each other that it doesn't really it doesn't really create a uniform look throughout the show, and I really don't like these character designs at all. So I have to agree with Sam. I have to agree with Sam, the Gigan fan, on that. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on Godzilla Singular Point. Number 5, Godzilla vs. Kong. Are you looking forward to it? I have to say I am, but over the last year and a half, I want to say. I know, I've just been keeping my expectations, not my expectations, but my hype, my anticipation for the movie lower, just because I don't want 2.5, maybe even 3 years of build up. You know, it might get pushed back even more, it probably will, but I just don't want such a long time, a long amount of build up, and then if it doesn't live up to my hype, then it sucks. So I'm definitely keeping my expectations, or not my expectations, but my excitement lower until we actually get trailer, until it actually could come out. When we get actual footage instead of just those 2 seconds that came out a few weeks ago. You know, as good as they looked, it didn't really do much for me. You know, I didn't make a 20-minute video analyzing the fact that Kong looks like he has a collar on. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for it, but I'm going to be keeping my excitement not non-existent, but I'm just going to be a bit more cautious about how excited I am for it. So, those are my 5 answers to those 5 questions. Now it's time for me to tag 4 more people, and I am going to choose, or tag, Camster Rook, Sam the Gigan fan, Captain McKay Random, and No Budget Nerd auf Deutschland. So, yeah, answer those 5 questions and then tag 4 more people. Everyone watching, make sure that you check those guys out. Sam, the Gigan fan, and Camster Rook, they're good friends of mine. And Captain McKay Random and No Budget Nerd, they make some really amazing animations that you should definitely check out. No Budget Nerd does specifically Godzilla kaiju stuff. Captain McKay covers a wide range, like wrestling, Mortal Kombat, superheroes, and Godzilla. And TMNT. So if you're interested in any of those, he's got you covered. Thanks to Kaijuzilla 621 for tagging me. Check him out, and Godzilla Apex when that comes out, if it comes out. And yeah, I don't really have an outro, so I guess I'll see you whenever I decide to make another video. So yeah.